question is, why do we face that challenge? When someone asks me, what do I do? And I say I'm a jewelry designer, I'm always baffled as to what that person is perceiving about me. I'd much rather say, hey, I'm in the luxury industry than say I'm a jewelry designer. You're trying to express yourself as an artist, and then you get just categorized as a jewelry designer without really an emphasis on how our work should be treated as art and not just, a cookie cutter piece of jewelry.
There's this big debate about, is jewellery art? And even me and my business partner have the debate, because I sometimes think it is. But then he's got a really valid point. Yeah.
It is.
As artists, we're very passive. Half the time we call ourselves, it's easier to call ourselves jewelers rather than artists.
I think jewelry, it's like, in my case, I'm an artist and I decided to print my art in metal and in jewelry. But if you ask me, I'm an artist before anything. Every time I'm designing, it's like I cannot design little. I design little because, as Sean said, we need to fit into an industry. But most of everything, I'm a designer. So I would design a ginormous thing, and then I will see how can I tweak it to make it a sellable thing. But this is my DNA, and I have my own DNA that is design, it's art.
As a jewelry designer, most people I will conceptualize and draw a piece as to how I see it. And then I pass that on for the people who are going to be working at it at different stages. So it's not just a one person's ideology or complete, I envisioned it in some manner. My craftsman, when he built it, he builds it in 3D. It comes out a little different from what my imagination might have been. So do I project myself as that artist who is just painting a picture or not? I think with the evolution of time, artists have been people who've really just been able to put up what they've done in front of people.
I've noticed a lot of people would look at a fine piece of jewelry and just think of it as a jeweler.
Yep.
And a lot of times, I don't resent this part, it's okay, but I rarely see a person look at a great piece of jewelry and go, oh, that artist. Refer to that person as that artist. It's always that jeweler.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know.
I actually have an opinion on that.
I would love to hear
that. I don't think we can blame the person who's saying it. I think we are to blame because not enough of us back up what we believe in and keep doing what we are doing. And the jewelry industry has evolved more with the materials that we use instead of the design that we use over a period of time. So everyone who walks into the store, you will go and you will buy a $100,000 Patek Philippe, and if you have to spend $20,000 on a piece of jewelry for your wife, you're going to say, hey, but is it worth it? And that sense that comes with what you're spending is, are you getting the worth for what you're doing? Is you're relating it to a generic piece of jewelry? And over years and years, I think that's how industry has evolved. And the originality of pieces has never really matured to compare, when you compare it to other industries, be it anything that is brand-driven, truly brand-driven. And I think that that is something that we should always look at when we project ourselves and how we change that.
And not to take away from any art, but I've actually had arguments with a client, trunk show, an actual consumer, wearing one of my pieces and saying, well, why should I pay $70,000 for this piece? How much gold do you have in there?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
You would say,
Well, most of the time, Colette, I agree with you. I would just say, you know what, you're not my client. Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you. But occasionally, I'm a wise ass. And I have to, I just have to. I have to pick that person's brain. So there was one particular time that a lady was questioning my materials. And I asked her, I said, do you own any other type of art? Well, of course I do. I have a house in Florida. I have a house in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. What type of art do you collect? Well, I collect paintings. Okay. Name one. She named an artist I'd never heard of, but okay, great. So can I ask you how much you paid for that painting? Well, I have this such and such piece, and I paid $275,000 for it. I said, yeah, but you do realize that's only worth $40, because I also paint, okay? And I use the best oil paints in the world, and I buy really nice canvases.
Yeah,
I have hard time spending more than $40.
I agree with you.
So you bought that artist because the materials on that is absolutely worthless. If it wasn't beautiful, or if it wasn't done by a famous artist, I wouldn't give you $1 for it because what are you gonna do with it? At
Exactly.
the end of the day, that means nothing as materials. So why are you questioning my materials, which is so much more precious than what you're talking about? If nothing else, I mean, you're looking at a ring that's got a Burma ruby that took Mother Nature over 100 million years to create. And it took me some blood, sweat, and tears to bring it to life and buy it, pay for it, put gold around it, put my effort, my design. And now you're questioning this, and then you're proudly saying that I own such and such artist that spent $40 on a canvas and put about 3 hours into it.
You guys actually do invest in stones, so you guys actually do put out a lot of money before you even create.
Well,
Exactly.
you know, I think the point he's making is we are passive. What he's saying is when he questions her, she will have a little better understanding of us as an artist.
Yeah, it
that we
challenges
stop
her.
being passive. That is, I think that's the point you're making.
Absolutely,
correct?
I
So, so I think that for sure is an important bridge to cross where someone comes in with their ignorance. We can't just say, hey, yeah, you know what, you're not my client. We should never do that. We should still, it's the onus on at that point of time is on us to at least try and make sure that the client has a little better understanding of what we are doing. And they may not buy from us, but they at least walk away a little more educated.
When I explain my concept to a client and the thought process of why I've reached this point, the concept behind the piece, the emotion that I attached from me to that piece, they then understand it, and then it becomes art to them. I think then they bypass, okay, it's made of 18 karat gold, it's got 10 carats in, da da da. When I explain the concept, like it's talking about we have to educate our clients to show that we are artists and we're putting our heart and soul into these pieces. And some of my pieces are very deep. There's some of my own life scarrings go into my pieces, you know, from a broken heart or many, many different emotions I put into a piece. And when I actually tell the client that, they realize they're actually buying a piece of me. Yes. And that does make it a piece of art, like they do buy a painting, because an artist will paint something which is a concept. But, you know, you're seeing the world through an artist's eyes because that's how he feels and what he's captured at that moment. And I think that's exactly what we do.